Hey guys, Michael from Conquer Chemistry. In today's video, we'll be going over how to determine the empirical formula of a hydrate. A hydrate is just an ionic compound with water attached. For example, we could have CSO4 with 5 water molecules that are attached to it, and that would be an example of hydrate, just an ionic compound, then with a dot and the number of water molecules that are attached to it. So here are the steps for determining the empirical formula of a hydrate, and we'll go do two examples following the step. So in the first example, we have 15.67 sample of hydrate of magnesium carbonate, and it was heated, and that to drive off the water, and then this is the mass after the heating, and what's the formula of the hydrate. So the first step is to subtract the weight after heating from the weight before the heating to give you the mass of the water. So the mass after heating, the mass before was 15.67. We're going to subtract the mass after, which is 7.58, and that will give us 8.09. That's the mass of the water that was heated off. The remaining mass is the mass of the ionic compound. So the remaining mass is 7.58, and that's the mass of the magnesium carbonate, which is MgCO3. Then, next step, we're going to convert the mass of each of the compounds into moles by dividing by the molar mass. So we're going to divide each of these by the molar mass to get it into moles. The molar mass of water is approximately 18.016, and the molar mass of magnesium carbonate, you can see right here, we can just look it up, it's 84.31 approximately. So we take the mass that we got and divide it by the molar mass, and that'll give us the number of moles. That'll be 8.09 divided by 18.016, and that will give us approximately 0.449 moles of the H2O, and then 7.58 divided by 84.31, and that'll be approximately 0.0899 moles of the magnesium carbonate. So that completes step 3, where we convert the mass into moles. Then step 4, we're going to divide the both numbers by the smallest number of moles. So the smallest number of moles here is approximately 0.09. So we'll divide both these by 0.0899 and divide this one also by 0.0899. And that will give us 1 MgCO3, and this will be approximately 5 H2Os. So that means our empirical formula is going to be magnesium carbonate with 5 water molecules. Okay, let's take a look at another example. So in this one, we're given a hydrate of sodium carbonate that had a mass of 7.31 before heating, and then after heating, the mass is 3.22. We have to determine the formula of the hydrate as well as write the name of the hydrate. So step 1, we're going to subtract. We're going to take 4.31, the mass before heating, subtract the mass after heating, and that'll be the mass of the water that was heated off, which is going to be 1.09 grams of H2O. The weight after heating is the mass of the ionic compound. So after heating was 3.22. That means we have 3.22 grams of the sodium carbonate. Next, we're going to divide the mass of each of the mass of the water and the mass of the ionic compound by the molar mass to get into moles. So divide that by the molar mass of water, which is 18.016, and divide that by the molar mass of sodium carbonate. Let's take a look at what that is. And that's going to be approximately 106. So divide the mass of sodium carbonate by the molar mass, which is 106. And by doing so, we can get the moles of each. The first one, 1.09 divided by 18.016, and that will be 0.0605 moles of water. And then for the moles of the sodium carbonate, 3.22 divided by 106, and that'll be 0.0303 moles of the sodium carbonate. Next, we're going to divide both of these by the smallest number. So the smaller number here is the 0.03. They'll divide each of these by 0.0303, and this one also divided by 0.0303, and that'll give us 2 H2O and 1 Na2CO3. So that means the empirical formula is going to be Na2CO3 with two H2Os attached to it. And the name for this would be sodium carbonate dihydrate. The di because that's the prefix for two. If it was three, it would be trihydrate. It was one, to be monohydrate. And that's it. That's how you can determine the empirical formula of a hydrate.
If you want to learn how to ace chemistry, if you want to learn what's the best way to study for this class, if you want to learn some neat tricks and tips to take into your exam and do better on them, then you should head over to my website and get this free guide, 12 Secrets to Acing Chemistry. You can head over to www.conquerchemistry.com/chemsecrets. I'm going to include a link in the description below. Check it out. I think it's really going to help you, and you're gonna like it. Until next time, keep working hard and continue the good work.